Getting ready to roll out to Claremont this morning to our Blue Knights Western Region meeting. So we're going to be heading out in just a few minutes to meet up with some other members of the Blue Knights in Morganton, and then we're going to head out to Claremont. Okay, we're getting ourselves ready. Probably going to go get some gas here in a minute. She's getting ready to get the trike fired up. I washed mine up yesterday. Put the new seat on it. The seat looks great. The original seat's back on it. Got reupholstered. So we're getting ready to roll out. What'd you think about your good little ride there?
It was fabulous. It was wonderful. I love my first long ride.
This is your longest ride on the interstate so far. We did probably 80 miles.
Yeah, it was easy.
From Maggie Valley to Morganton.
Much easier than I thought it was going to be. I made it out to be harder.
So, you enjoyed the ride?
Yes, I love the ride.
It's good. We didn't get run over.
Nope. We kept up with traffic for the most part.
You want to try to unhook your phone and hook your Cena while we're here?
Yeah.
And see if your music will play?
Sure.
Okay. In Claremont at the Box Car Grill and Catering. Pretty nice.
The good thing is
I would like to learn to snorkel. Can you teach me to snorkel?
It's our thing, box car.
Hi, I'm Beth, and this is my 2017 Harley-Davidson Tri-Glide. And I had an experience today, and I just wanted to share it with you. I've only had the Tri-Glide for a couple months now, and I've been kind of leading up to today. And so I was so excited and had a great day, and just like I said, I wanted to share it with you. First thing is when I got the bike, it had been 40-some years since I had ridden, and so that's why I got a Tri-Glide. I wasn't real comfortable with two wheels, but I ended up taking the safety course for motorcycles, and I highly recommend it for everyone because I learned so much, and it made me feel more comfortable today on my long ride. And I got my motorcycle endorsement, which in North Carolina you're supposed to have one. So I am endorsed to ride a two-wheeler, so if I ever feel comfortable enough, I can move to a two-wheel so I can ride a bike. But for now, I'm on my trike, and I'm loving it. I've taken short rides through town, and did about 3 miles on the interstate, on Interstate I-40 in North Carolina, but never really went a long distance before. So today we started out early this morning, and we ended up riding 240 miles. And I was just going to share a little bit about what I learned on the trip. Learned about myself as well as my bike, or my trike. I learned that I've worked myself up to it and built my confidence up, and that helped tremendously. I had support and people saying, yes, you can do this. And so I had two major fears. One was going through a town on the interstate, and the town I was afraid of was Asheville. It's a city, but it's not huge, but it's bigger than where I live. And so I was a little bit nervous going through asphalt on I-40 because there's a lot of traffic and there are 3 or 4 lanes and everybody's merging and all that stuff. So I was a little bit nervous about that. And the second one was a place called Black Mountain. It's for those of you that aren't local, it's a mountain road that goes down. I mean, it's not as steep as some, but it's a little steep for me anyway. Riding a trike, it was steep, and it's got some curves. It's not as bad as places like the Dragon, but maneuvering a trike down Black Mountain for the first time gave me a little bit of a shake of my nerves. But once I got on the road and I got through Asheville, no problems at all. Everybody seemed to stay in their lanes, and I kept my eyes out for things and did all these things I learned in the class about making sure I had a safety route out in case somebody came over on me. It really helped me out, and it boosted my confidence. So once I got through Asheville, I felt really good about taking on Black Mountain. I kept at the speed limit. I drove 55 because that's what I was comfortable with. I would have gone slower had I felt like I needed to, but I stayed at 55, and I was very comfortable with that. So made it down the mountain just fine, no problems at all. Made it to our destination, which is Claremont, North Carolina, and had lunch there and went to a meeting there, and then we turned around and headed back up the mountain. I led the way back up the mountain and felt very good about it. Coming up Black Mountain again, that's the curvy, steep place, was much easier in my mind than going down. I think going down, I was afraid I was going to pick up too much speed or something, but I had it under control between shifting gears and just a little bit of minor brake. I'm not even sure I even used my brakes, come to think of it. But I kept the gears in the right place. I think I rode it in 5th gear maybe. And maybe had to tap my brake a couple of times, but it really wasn't bad at all. And coming back up though, was just a piece of cake. It was just like driving on a straight road almost, even though there were some turns. Then coming back through Asheville, the traffic had picked up a lot on I-40 in Asheville, and so a lot of cars merging in. One thing that I did this time that I hadn't done before either is changing lanes on I-40, and did very good. I had somebody that was watching my back, so I would look in my mirror, do my head turn like you're supposed to, and everything was fine. I did it quite a few times actually, and got fairly comfortable, even though I don't want to get real comfortable with anything right now because I'm such a new rider, but I was comfortable to the point where I felt like I could do it. Learned a lot about my trike. One thing is I did know that I had cruise control. And I accidentally turned it on. I don't know what I pushed, but I accidentally turned it on because I didn't read that part of the manual real well. And so now I've got to figure out how to do my cruise control again, because I can see where, especially distance that we rode today, and a lot of it was at the same speed limit, would have been much more comfortable had I used the cruise on it. Everything on the trike worked well. Any errors that happened were mine. We got new phone holders, and it was kind of nice having my phone here. I didn't really look at it much. I also have a GPS system, and to be honest, I kind of ignored it. I was more focused on the road, which is what I should have been, being a new bike rider. So I was totally focused on the road. I was focused with who was in front of me, with who was coming out on my mirrors on both sides, and trying to just relax a little bit too, so that I could enjoy the ride. And I really did. I got relaxed to the point where my hands weren't gripping the handles so much, and I kept my hands off of the brake and the clutch, which was the first thing that I had to start kind of get used to not doing, is keeping my hands just in the ready position, like I was going to be scared of everything. But everything on the bike worked well. A couple headset issues that we had, but that had nothing to do with the trike or his bike. It just had to do with our headsets. We could talk to each other, but only one of us could listen to music at a time. So that's something we're going to work out. And again, the cruise control. Learning, again, to always keep my eyes out on those mirrors and ahead of me, just so I know who's coming up on my side. I did get passed by an 18-wheeler that was carrying an extra wide load. And I think the fact of just looking over and seeing it kind of took my breath away there for a second, but it was fine. He stayed in his lane, I stayed in my lane, where everything was good. Again, we did 240 miles, my longest trip, and I'm really excited. I'm pumped up. I can't wait for the next one, which will be tomorrow. So I'm really excited about continuing my riding, and just kind of wanted to share a good story with everybody.